Josh, can you believe we have been doing this podcast for almost 6 years?
Lauren, seriously? It only feels like, 20, 30?
More like 50, am I right?
Definitely 50. Definitely 50.
Well, in anticipation of our 6th anniversary happening this February, we actually want to hear from you, our audience.
That is right. We're officially plugging and pushing the Creator Upload Survey. It's here. It's happening.
For the first time ever, we are interested in something other than ourselves. In partnership with Deep Water Strategies, who put this together for us, thank you very much, we want to learn about you.
It's truly historic. Please head to bit.ly/creator upload survey. That's bit.ly/creator upload survey and tell us all the things.
What you want more of, me. What you want less of, Josh. And everything in between.
We'll be talking a lot about it, so just go to bit.ly/creator upload survey and make our lives way easier.
Exactly. Thanks for being with us all these years. Now go fill out the survey. bit.ly/creator upload survey. That's bit.ly/creator upload survey. Welcome to Creator Upload, your creator economy podcast. I'm Lauren Schnipper.
And I'm Joshua Cohen. Lauren, it was great to see you last night.
Live from New York City. I am in New York City. You're back in Jersey in the basement attic where you belong, but saw you last night in New York. It's always, it was weird. At the end of the evening, Josh kind of gave me the hand kind of hug thing. He's got a very dry palm. He needs some moisturizer. It was like a corpse. It was like a skeleton bone. So just to throw that out there. I'm in New York for the holidays. We're gonna just gloss over that. He knows it's true. Notice how he's not saying anything because he knows he needs to moisturize.
Listeners, I'm not going to mention the quality of Lauren's skin on her hands out of respect and just. I don't think it's the thing you're interested in hearing about. If you are, email us info@creatorupload.com. Give you a full report.
So last night I was party hopping. I went to 3 different things. Oakland's Priscilla Phillips is an investment bank that she does a little work for, a little advising on creator companies that want to sell. So I stopped by their holiday party. Oh, the apps were great. I'm so sad I couldn't stay for the rest of the dinner. And the people were great too. But I'm just saying the apps were amazing. Then I went to Frank Jung's event. He has a company, a networking giant community called FMC. It was really cool. Saw the likes of our friend Sean Atkins, who's the president and CEO of Darman, who's been on this podcast before, and a bunch of other folks. And then went to the Smooth Media holiday party last night where I saw you and a bunch of other people. What a night. What a time. Schlepping around the city, party hopping like I was in my early 20s again in New York City. I mean, what a time.
Feels good.
Feels good. It's great. Switching gears a little bit, I really do. We were off last week for Thanksgiving, and we, as a result, did not get to discuss the finale of Dancing with the Stars, which, here's the thing. This is, they did the most, so as we know, just to back up, Dancing with the Stars has blown up this season because they've really embraced the whole creator of it all. Started back when Charli D'Amelio was on as a contestant a couple years ago. They really leaned into it. They did a whole devoted TikTok episode talking about how amazing TikTok was. It was a bit of a propaganda. Moving on. They have a companion podcast. They have a live show on TikTok during the actual show broadcast. But this was the craziest thing that was amazing. So one of the couples, Whitney Leavitt and Mark Ballas. Mark Ballas is he's the best. He is the OG. He's unbelievable. Was partnered with this woman who was from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, show I've never watched. But you could argue she's like, kind of a creator influencer because she started off on like Mom Talk with the dancing or whatever. Well, evidently she's a bit of a villain of the show. And what I didn't know, because I don't watch this, is that around episode 5 of Dancing with the Stars, I guess the latest season came out, where she very publicly said, I'm only coming back to whatever, I think the 3rd season of Secret Lives, because she wants to get on Dancing with the Stars. And this began this unbelievable backlash. Like, she's using these women to just become famous. Famously, when you go on The Bachelor and they're like, you're not here for the right reasons.
Yeah.
We need to take a step back, that anybody's who's on a fucking reality show is there for the fame, the glory, and the money. Anybody and everybody. And but these people, Mark Ballas and Whitney Leavitt, were getting vile, disgusting hate because of this, beyond. And what ended up happening is, and not to mention she's phenomenal and was an incredible dancer and whatever. So she gets voted off the second to last episode. She doesn't get to go to the finale. And in the finale, what everybody waits for is you get to do your freestyle dance, which is just the culmination of everything, and it's incredible. So guess what they did? So that they do the finale. Robert Irwin, who was amazing and won, wins. ABC partnered with Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy, did a sit-down interview with Mark Ballas and Whitney talking about all this, but wait for it, and then at the very end, they got to do their freestyle. And not only did they get to do their freestyle, they did it in a way that was much more cinematic than they would have on the show. Not because they had a lot of time. They apparently had 72 hours, but there was no audience. They were in a different studio. They like changed costumes in it. It was phenomenal. Like, number one, let's just talk about that. But like the use of, I am just in awe of Dancing with the Stars right now. The fact that, because by the way, it definitely, I feel badly for the Robert Irwin who actually won, because it kind of like stole all the thunder, like in terms of like his win. And like, but the fact that they, I work with a lot of media companies right now who are trying to figure out how to like embrace digital. And one of the things that they get very nervous about is like, let's say they have like a traditional kind of show that's been on broadcast show that's been on for a long time. And they're like, well, what if we do an idea is like, what if we do the digital version of that? And then there's, sort of anxiety around, well, what if that becomes bigger than the actual show? And my answer to that is like, who cares? It might. And it might as well be you. And the fact that ABC embraced this and partnered with Alex Cooper, who is in effect a creator, and let them sit down and then did this finale, which absolutely is cannibalizing the show, but not really, because it's making the show everywhere. I mean, it is so unbelievably brilliant. I am in awe of this whole thing. Like, I can't even believe it. And on a side note, as Mark Ballas said, people need to calm the fuck down. It's a dancing show. Like, literally calm down. Like, the vile hate that these people were getting, it's a dancing show. You know what I mean? But I just think how they embrace this, it is, oh, and by the way, she's now going to be starring as Roxy Hart on Broadway in Chicago, which I've seen that show a million times, but not in like 20 years. And that's a show that famously, like, they've had a lot of former Dancing with the Stars people on it, and they like, they'll do a lot of sort of, call it stunt casting. I might go see the show.
I think this is really interesting for a few reasons. First, looking at the numbers here, Dancing with the Stars crushed it. Their season 33 finale drew 6.37 million viewers. Their season 34 finale, the one we're talking about, drew 9.24 million viewers.
No, I mean, that's in today's world in broadcast television, that is unheard of. Like,
unheard of.
Yeah.
I think, like, I want to give them credit. I get it, for embracing all of this in really smart ways. I also think this is just like the natural evolution. Like, who else are they going to have in the show?
No, I do, but I think that the embracing of it, though, you're glossing over too much, because I'm telling you, because I'm working with some of these folks, like they're reticent to embrace it, or if they want to, they don't know how, and they're nervous, and they're taking too long, and like they are just, I don't know if it's a new team, I don't know who it is, but they're just going with it. And like, by the way, putting something together like that and the speed that they put it together is not unheard of in our world. It is unheard of in traditional broadcast media.
Yes,
period.
That's totally fair. I also think,
and so the fact that they got a team and they just let them, because there's no time for approvals and there's no time for whatever, and the fact that they did this, and again, they said vocally, like, what, I don't know, I believe it just lived, as far as I've seen on the internet, it's only living on the Call Her Daddy page, so it's not living on ABC channels. But the fact that they're even giving that to that, I mean, it's so, I can't stress what a big deal and how this is breaking down the sort of institutional rules of these kind of traditional broadcast shows. Like, it is literally like they're running around naked in the middle of the street. That's the equivalent. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's crazy.
I think what is really worthwhile calling out here is the extent of this partnership with Call Her Daddy and Dancing with the Stars. So one, it's performing very well. It has 3.8 million views in the last 7 days.
I've already watched it. I've watched it like 10 times. Go on.
Where the rest of the Call Her Daddy videos on YouTube, they're not doing nothing. They have several hundreds of thousands of views, but this is the only one in the millions within the last month or so. And also, they're utilizing YouTube's new collaboration feature, where the video, if you look at it, if you go to Call Her Daddy's page and then click on the Dancing with the Stars video, it says it's uploaded by Call Her Daddy and Dancing with the Stars, which I think is just this really interesting way for YouTube to allow people to collaborate and kind of validate their collaborations way more effectively. I think I'm more interested in watching this if I'm a casual viewer, to know that Dancing with the Stars has their like official mark on it, and I can see that when I'm watching the video, than if this was just a Call Her Daddy episode.
But conversely, they're taking a risk Dancing with the Stars, putting their name on it because they're not getting the level. I guarantee they're 100% not getting the level of approval that they would normally get. And certainly not they don't, because there's no time. There's literally simply no time to put it through all the channels. So it's, I think this is the right term, watershed moment. I think this is like I think this is one of those moments that is melding and fusing kind of traditional media and creators and influencers, whatever you want to call it, in a way that we are going to see the ripple effects and in a good way, maybe sometimes bad way, like for years to come. I think this is a moment. This is a huge, huge moment, that the fact that they did this, like, and as fast as they did it and how they did it, and and I think to credit, Alex Cooper, because clearly they wouldn't have done it with, a talent and somebody who they don't think would do it justice, right? And she's obviously built up a huge, very valid business on her own. But she's got I know people that work that she's got a team behind her. She's not, sitting there, she's not some fool in a bedroom with a mic like, some people we know, you know what I mean? Like, she's got some stuff going on. But like, I don't know. I'm just I think it's incredible. I'm really
imagine
impressed.
35 is going to have a lot more collaborations between Call Her Daddy, Alex Cooper, and Dancing with the Stars.
100%.
And also, do you think she did this as a little bit of a dig at Alex Earl?
Right. So people that don't know, Alex Earl used to be she was like the first kind of person other than Alex Cooper that was in the Call Her Daddy kind of universe. And then they parted ways. One would probably assume not in the best of terms. Maybe. And Alex Earl was on the show. And Alex Earl was on Dancing with the Stars. Did well. She did not win. I think she was like first runner-up or whatever. But she, yeah.
And the betting markets called it early. Robert Irwin was an early favorite.
He was. And he was phenomenal. But like, I hate this kind of stole his thunder. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I mean, it's like, when Clay Aiken didn't win American Idol and Ruben Sutter did, Clay Aiken went on to have the bigger career. I mean, sometimes not winning is the best thing you can do. You know what I mean?
Sometimes not winning is winning.
Sometimes not winning is winning. We already won. I will say they did just release their holiday, and they did a holiday special, Dancing with the Stars.
Okay, we're done. Let's just move on.
It's just so good. I can't get enough.
Please.
I can't get stop. They did a Hanukkah dance. It's so good.
This wonderful installment of Creator Upload is brought to you by Viral Nation. Viral Nation is a leading global social media marketing and creator agency with a social-first approach powered by its brand-safe technology.
Viral Nation powers global growth for brands like e.l.f. Cosmetics, Audible, A24, MGM Resorts International, Microsoft, Meta, Tencent, Zillow, and Walmart, redefining how brands engage and thrive in an ever-evolving digital world.
Take your content to new heights with Viral Nation.
Okay, we need to talk about Spotify. They have a lot of new features that are coming out. I'm all over my Instagram feed is like they're showing you like what age you are based on the music that you watch. But one of the other things that they've done that I think is really interesting, they've done this sort of creator wrap. So like you as an actual creator who like let's say has like either music or a podcast on the space can sort of see your stats as it relates to the rest of the sort of Spotify universe. And I don't know. I'd be remiss not to talk about the Creator Upload Spotify stats. Josh, allow me. We, Creator Upload, have a 26% increase in followers on the platform, 35% increase in listening time. 58 countries are listening to us, and we are in the top 10% of videos on the platform. And wait a minute, we have more comments on our stuff than 95% of shows and more shares than 97% of shows. So I just want to say thank you to Spotify. Thank you to our listeners in all 58 countries. And that's kind of crazy, actually. We've been doing this. It'll be 6 years. As we said at the top, we have a survey out right now that we want people to fill out because we're trying to figure out what you want more of, what you want less of. And this is like a big deal. But what do you think about all the Spotify wrapped business, Josh?
Lauren, this is the obvious next generation in an ingenious marketing scheme that brings video into the Spotify fold of their Wrapped event. And I think it's happening at an interesting time because this is also the first year that YouTube is introducing their own version of Spotify Wrapped. It's called YouTube Recap. They announced it earlier this week, but it hasn't rolled out to everyone yet. I think that's kind of a miss. I think you should announce the thing and then have it be available to all users rather than the slow rollout, because then people are confused. Like, do they have it yet? Do they not have it yet? Where is it? Etc. But in any case, the YouTube recap is a set of 12 cards that spotlight top channels, interests, and the evolution of your viewing habits and which personality type you fall into based on the videos you love to watch. It shows which creators you consume the most of, which artists you've watched the most of their music videos, and more. There's also different types of superlatives you get, like the skill builder, the sunshiner, the trailblazer. Little fun thing for the end of the year for people who consume a lot of YouTube. And it's about time. I don't understand why every single social media platform and online video platform doesn't do this or hasn't done this since Spotify originated this several years ago. I think all of them are basically starting to. Lauren, you and I saw a sneak peek of another one that's going to be launching soon last night.
We did see a sneak peek of one last night. I wish I could tell you more, people, but we did. How exciting. And I think it's going to be coming soon. Maybe that platform can come talk about it.
But like Netflix should also be obviously doing this. Tubi should be doing this. Everybody should be doing this. It's really easy earned media.
I know, but if Prime did this, it would be quite embarrassing how many times I watched The Summer I Turned Pretty in like specific episodes. I think
Amazon should do this on your consumption habits.
I think Prime would literally, my rap would be like, you have a problem. Like, really, like a nutshell.
I think let's not keep this contained to just entertainment properties and platforms. Let's expand this out to all kind of consumption on the internet. Like, I want to see my Amazon regular store. Like,
yeah, but Amazon would never do that, because then you would realize you need to stop. You know what I mean? So like, I think that they're smart. They could. They're just like, no, we don't want to tell Josh how bad it is.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, no, I think it's right.
Lauren, speaking of things that are happening year end, Twitch just released its very own year end recap. And a lot of interesting things are happening on the platform. I'm excited to bring on Tubefilter's very own Sam Gutelle, who's been covering this beat and this particular component of this Twitch beat for a while now. I'm excited to talk to him and for you all to hear what's going on. Tubefilter's very own Sam Gutelle, thank you once again for joining the program. It is lovely to have you.
Thank you, Josh and Lauren, for having me.
2025 was a big year for Twitch. There were 900 million hours of watch time it accrued during the calendar year. There were 45 billion chat messages, 9 million new streamers, including Justin Bieber, which is wild, that number. A few notable names were on the top of Twitch's year in review list. Kai Cenat and Ibai both delivered the top streaming moments, just like they did in 2024. And Just Chatting still remains the most popular category on Twitch. It's been that for years now, surpassing gaming. Must be like half a decade or more ago now. But what's interesting about 2025 in Twitch is that there has been this new breed of streamer that's developed and kind of taken the spotlight that I think we're going to see a lot more of, and that is athletes. Sam, I want to have you on so you could tell us all about this new phenomenon.
Well, Josh, this came to my attention when I saw Cam Skattebo from the Giants was live on Twitch, even though he's out for the season with an ankle injury. And I thought that was very interesting because he's using Twitch to keep himself in the public eye, even though he can't be on the field. It's a way of building his brand, and it speaks to what athletes have to do these days in order to get those big money contracts and stay relevant in these hyper-competitive pro leagues.
And so do you think Cam Skattebo is doing this because he wants to maintain his image? Do you think like that's how he's thinking about this? Or are you thinking he's just like bored and this is something for him to do?
It's probably both. You know, if you're going to be in the NFL, you're going to have to get used to being a public figure. And he is a rookie, so that's something that, you know, even though he was a star in college at Arizona State, it's pretty new for him to have this much attention from all over the country and all over the world, really, heaped on him. So, well, I do think he's doing it for the love of the game, as they say. I could also see this as a form of media training almost for NFL players and other pro athletes.
Was he doing this while because NIL would have been around when he was at least partly in college? You said he's a rookie. Forgive me, I'm not familiar with this particular player. But was he doing this while he was in college? In other words, I wondered, this sounds like it could be a trend. We're going to get college athletes coming into like professional level sports, having like, kind of the training, to your point, media training and like social media training, know how to like sort of, translate that into like a bigger kind of thing. So I'm just curious if he was doing it before.
Not that I'm aware of. If he was, he certainly wasn't streaming to nearly as large of an audience
Yeah.
as he is now.
Yeah.
But, one thing that I think is interesting when you look at NIL is that the people who are getting most popular as college athlete streamers or creators are not necessarily the best athletes.
Right.
And in fact, sometimes the viewers are more interested in seeing the perspectives of the volleyball players, the gymnasts, the people who aren't going to be on ESPN every weekend.
It's
So
also like
the opportunity for Cam
if you're spending a
is
lot
here.
of time doing that instead of like working on your craft, for example, maybe you're probably not going to end up in professional level sports. I'm just throwing it out there.
And so what's different here, Sam, what I hear you saying is Cam Skattebo actually like was one of the best rookies in the league, was out early with a season-ending injury, and we haven't seen that caliber of player really dive this far deep into online videos, social media, programming on a consistent basis yet.
So we have seen it, but it's certainly becoming more popular and more common. One notable example was Juju Smith-Schuster as an NFL wide receiver, and he was part of that stream with Ninja, Tyler Blevins, and Drake, this stream that broke a lot of records on Twitch. I think that was back in 2019. And then more recently, there is a big soccer star, Kun Aguero from Argentina. He had to retire due to a heart condition. And what did he do in his post-career move? He went on Twitch. And so I think people like Juju and Aguero, they were the pioneers now that are leading the way for people like Cam Skattebo. And even you see people like LeBron getting involved in Kai Cenat's Mafiathon. This is going all the way up to the top level of pro sports now. And that's something that we saw more in 2025 than in previous years.
Totally. So just Twitch becoming more of a cultural phenomenon that's attracting these other individuals who are in popular culture by way of sports. But then also like it's their own peer group too. Like Cam Skattebo is 23 years old. He's probably grew up watching a lot of these people, or at least being aware of them and understanding kind of how the Twitch game works. It seems like it's also like, one, it's easy for him to get into it because maybe he was a fan of this and sees other people stream, so knows how it's done. And then two, it's just easier than any other type of social media if you have the time, right?
Yeah, I think that Twitch is a natural fit for an athlete because competition is in Twitch's DNA. I mean, this is a platform that started as a way to broadcast esports and other high-level video gameplay. So even though, as you said, just chatting has become the most popular category on Twitch, there still is that cultural connection, which we saw first with OG FaZe Clan, where they were really saying, we're gamers, but we're going to look like athletes, big and strong, and you're going to see us go to the gym and play sports with each other. That created this connection that now athletes like Scat are taking advantage of.
So Sam, question for you here. For Skattebo, is it Giants fans that are watching him? Is it just people who are on Twitch watching him? What kind of audience do you think he has?
So I think that brings up a really interesting shift that we're seeing in the world of sports fandom. So, Josh, as you've told me many times, you were a wee lad growing up in Arizona. The Diamondbacks did not exist. But what team could you get on TV? You could get the Chicago Cubs on WGN. So
Correct.
now, unfortunately, you're a Cubs fan. But flash forward, 2025, people can be fans of any team they want because of this beautiful thing called the internet. So they, instead of choosing their local team or the team they can get on TV, a lot of people are choosing to be fans of players that they like. And iShowSpeed is a perfect example of this. He's not a fan of a soccer team. He's a fan of Ronaldo. Whoever Ronaldo is playing for, that's who he's going to root for. So I think you see athletes like Cam Skattebo are being very intentional in how they approach this, where to attract fans is not just about, reaching out to the Giants fans. It's about building your own personal fan base that will follow you as you move around from teams and leagues. Twitch is the perfect place for that because, for starters, there's all this built-in audience management tools on Twitch. And then you see how the worlds of creators in sports are coming closer together with phenomena like influencer boxing, where you see creators behaving more like athletes, athletes behaving more like creators. it's the perfect place for these athletes to grow their individual fan bases while still playing for a particular team.
I think it's fascinating. Also with professional athletes too, they have sick merch already. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
wonder
like,
if
if you look
Skattebo
at-
jerseys are
If you
going
look
to
at his
go.
streaming setup, like, he's got the swag everywhere.
I think it's something also that this is relevant to is that there's always the and it's like I feel there's always a discussion about like you take big actors, forgetting athletes for a minute, like and like big TV shows, and when they're off season, oftentimes like when they're on season, social media, they're doing all sorts of stuff, and when they're off season, or let's say they don't have a movie to promote, like their pages, their channels kind of go dead, and so it's like what to do in the interim. And I'm not saying that they should all stream. But like to your point, being a relatively low lift, it would be a way to sort of maintain some sort of presence and build that up in between projects or seasons of a show or something like that. So I think it's a lesson, whether or not people like it, it's a lesson that people can learn across kind of media.
Totally. I think too, Lauren, to your point, we were around during this wave of when a bunch of Hollywood actors tried to become YouTubers.
Yep.
And thought it would be good for their career.
Yep.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was one, started his own channel, Studio 71, probably a decade plus ago.
Zac Efron, when he was trying.
Will Smith,
J-Lo.
Zac Efron,
Will
YouTube
Smith.
Rewind hero, Will Smith.
Brie Larson too, probably actually gave it the best college try here, where I think for a year or so she was producing a couple uploads a week. But then that type of production just isn't consistent or doesn't mesh well with the schedules of these
It's
professional actors.
You're also omitting the part about like their expectations for the type of productions that would be happening don't mesh well with the monetization models of digital. In other words, you can't have
That's true too.
$1,000 an hour hair and makeup to like the margins don't make sense. But go on. But yes.
But if you're trying to make for the 12 to 20 minute YouTube video several times a month, that takes a lot of time, energy, and effort.
A ton of time, energy, and effort.
There are plenty of individuals that we know that have huge teams built around them to accomplish just that. So then you put that on someone's schedule in addition to whatever movie they're filming. It can't work. Streaming provides them with an opportunity where they're like, okay, they're in and out.
But this also explains why it's athletes that are doing this, because they're not afraid of a grind. If they have to put something out every day to get an audience, they'll do it because for them, that's easier than having to do 2-a-days on a football field to get ready for the season.
So what you're saying is that actors are divas and they're afraid of a grind. I agree. Anyway, Sam, great to have you here. Wonderful way to end.
Sam, thanks so much for joining us. This was awesome.
Thanks again for having me.
Thank you, Sam, as always. Great insight, and can't wait to see just everybody on Twitch all the time.
All the time. Is that where we're headed?
I think we're there.
I think so.
We're there.
I think Twitch is like the new podcast.
Yeah.
It's like you used to get big doing something else that took a lot of high intensity production value and effort. And then you would transition that into a podcast, which is way easier. And now Twitch also seems easy too.
Yeah.
Not to degrade everybody. Hold on. Don't send those emails yet. Lots of people are very talented on Twitch and put together very compelling programming that takes a lot of time and energy and effort. I get it. Totally get it. We're not talking about you here.
Yeah, no, we kind
We're talking about the people that just get on stream.
No, that's what we're talking about. Okay, Josh, do you have uploads, downloads? I have a download here. So MKBHD, also known as Marcus Brownlee, famous sort of YouTuber who's always doing like tech reviews and this and that. He launched his own panels wallpaper app less than a year ago, and to much criticism in terms of like how the rollout went, how expensive it was, and it is just they're calling it, they're shutting it down as of December 31st. He said, we made mistakes making our first app, but ultimately we weren't able to turn it into the vision I had. It's got a sting being the guy who's like criticizing and the one who's out there like telling people what they should do, and then he launches something and it was kind of a bit of a disaster. It's not to say like I think that the mark of a good leader is knowing when to call it, so I think that that's the right thing to do as opposed to letting it die slowly. But I'm sure he'll come back bigger and better than ever.
As a tech reviewer, this is just going to give him more insight into the complexities of how these things get rolled out and how these businesses operate. And also, I think this is a good story, tale, testament, flag for other creators that want to do things. Because like, what was the eventual point here? Why couldn't he just release cool wallpapers as like a free download on his website?
I think it's all great questions. I think that people are wondering that. I think that it's how much was he charging for it again?
I mean, $50 a year, $12 a month price point.
That's a lot.
It's a lot for something that, look, not disparaging. All these wallpaper artists, hold on to your emails. Don't send them yet.
Send them.
I know they take a lot
Attention
of time,
to Joshua Cohen,
energy, and effort to produce really compelling stuff. If you want to make a whole business out of it, I get it. It seems like that time, energy, and effort, if I'm a creator that's that big, can be placed into other avenues. And if I want to really support these artists and build something cool, just offer them as like digital downloads on your site.
I think there's that. I think there's also just like, I was talking with somebody at one of these events last night about, they're helping creators become founders. A lot of creators want to be founders, but they don't really know where and how to do it. And sort of the thesis of this dude's company is like, it used to be that you need like a tech guy and a product guy and whatever. And now it's like with AI, you don't really need a tech guy. You need like a visionary and you need like a marketer. And so like the creator can kind of be the marketer. So I think a smarter move for someone like Marquez would be like to partner with somebody who knows how to build a business, because it is very, very difficult. And from everything, not just like, because people, there's the product of it all, but it's like, to your point, how much are you charging for it? What are people getting? I mean, $12 a month, like, I don't know. I think my Netflix is more expensive than that now, but like not that much more. And look how much I'm getting for that. You just have to like start weighing, all these different price points and what you're getting for it. I mean, we're all subscribed to so many things, and $12 a month for like wallpapers. I'm sorry, it seems egregious to me. Is it like coming out and like, brushing my hair? I mean, what is it doing? You know what I mean? It's like looking at wallpaper. I mean, those things. All right, Josh, any uploads or downloads for you?
Lauren, there's a lot going on, a lot we could talk about, but one thing I want to point out, especially because it's end of year giving time, is that the Rockefeller Foundation has partnered with Beast Philanthropy, hoping to, quote, capture the hearts and minds of millions of young people. MrBeast, aka Jimmy Donaldson, has had this Beast Philanthropy nonprofit for the last several years. It has its own channel. The idea was that the channel is going to make a lot of money off of brand partnerships and also off of YouTube AdSense revenue, and then going to be able to funnel that back into lots of different projects around the world. And now it's going to have a little help from the Rockefeller Foundation, which was founded by John D. Rockefeller, the OG Rockefeller, in 1913. And they really have a shared goal here, which is to lean on each other's strengths. MrBeast has a huge distribution network and can engage hundreds of millions of viewers, especially young viewers, around the world. And the foundation has over a century of experience deploying billions of dollars to make seemingly tangible differences in areas like food insecurity, public health, climate change, and workers' rights. Current president of Rockefeller Foundation, Dr. Rajiv Shah, added that historically the organization hasn't partnered with individuals or other orgs like this, but they see this as a really opportune moment to be able to work with somebody who they think their strengths can really, like 1 + 1 = 10 here.
Well, this is the whole marketing of it all. This is what I'm talking about.
Totally. So maybe at a different point in their history, giving and this concept of these types of foundations was more in people's mind or consciousness, or just part of kind of like the social fabric, where I would argue it's not as much anymore. And maybe with this type of distribution and type of awareness and type of marketing, it can start to become a little more top of mind again.
Well, I mean, I think that also he's proven it with like Team Trees and Seas and all the things.
Totally.
He's so able to, I mean, even though like Robert told us that it was not easy to raise all the money that they did for Trees, right? I think that one was the second one that they did was a little bit more difficult, but they still were able to do it. And as he said, he's like, we know a lot of billionaires now, so I bet that's how they get them. And so,
Totally.
Yeah, I think this is great. And, on the odd time when I do let my kids watch YouTube, I tell them that they're allowed to watch MrBeast videos where he's doing good things for the world. So
that's nice. I'm MrBeast videos, just carte blanche.
Yeah,
Mark Rober.
You're just like Rober. I'll let them. But Rober's on like Netflix now, by the way.
He is on Netflix now. We'll talk about that next time.
My
Nick
kid
DiGiovanni
freaked out when he saw that I interviewed Rober. By the way, I am so cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Glowing it. First time in your life. How's it feel?
I mean, right? I think is the word I'd say.
Yeah.
Natural.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally. All right, Josh, I think we did it. Maybe I'll see you tonight in New York City.
Lauren, that's right. Maybe I'll see you there if you're not working on your new hairbrushing app.
I would take it. I would do it. I love them. I can fall
12,
asleep right now.
$15 a month.
Yeah.
Something comes out and brushes my hair.
I'm just saying. It's a great
Love
idea.
the concept. Love
Thank
it.
you.
The Thought Then and There next week on Creator Upload. Today's show was produced by Lauren Schnipper, Joshua Cohen, that's me, and Adam Connor. It's edited by Adam Connor too. Original music is by London Bridge. You can check him out on Instagram at London Bridge Music. Make sure you subscribe to Creator Upload right here on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, as well Spotify, or wherever you're listening. While you're there, give us a rating and leave us a comment. If you want to talk, hit us up at info@creatorupload.com. If you like our show, recommend it to a friend. If you love it, just tell everyone. Thanks for listening to Creator Upload, and we will be back next week.